ladies and gentlemen, today I am in Lafayette, Louisiana, and I'm speaking to Meredith Johnson, whose passion is writing. So Meredith, do me a favor, because I'm a writer and I know a lot of people, a lot of my audience has a passion for writing, but they don't do it for whatever reason. So tell me where this started for you, first of all.
So I believe I started writing around age 9. There was a poetry competition at school, and whoever wrote the best poem was allowed to read it in the front of the chapel. I'm a very competitive individual, and I just wrote something quickly and it came out, and I read it in front of my peers, and that experience of having something from inside me shared to the outside world was very powerful, and I think that started me on a landslide of just, all of a sudden I fell in love with writing and I couldn't stop. It continued into my adolescent years and my teens, and I would get a journal every year for Christmas and fill it up before the next Christmas and need another one, and it just became this creative outlet that I couldn't ignore anymore. It was pulling from inside me to get out.
So do you continue to write today?
Absolutely. I don't think I can go a day without writing. I think Ernest Hemingway says, there's nothing to writing. You sit at a typewriter and bleed. Mm-hmm. And in this case, whatever medium you're using, and bleed.
What type of writing do you do? How would you classify your writing?
Do you mean the medium or the style?
Whatever first comes to your mind when I say that.
So when I think of myself as a writer, I think poet and fiction writer. Every day I have to write in my journal by hand to get everything out for myself. But I create poetry when something comes to me or something touches me, or when there's something that I care deeply about, anything that has moved me, I have to write on. I write fiction and short stories from time to time, and I'll submit to competitions just for fun. But I really think that writing has helped me so much develop my character, how I present myself to the world, who I am, and that it's okay to put yourself out there. What you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you've experienced, everything you've seen and touched and felt and heard can be on the paper in words, and someone else can see.
So what do you think, because so many people always say, oh, I have this book I want to write, or they want to write. They want to just get started writing.
Right.
What kind of challenges have you had, and how did you overcome that?
There's definitely a lot of challenges in the writing process. One is procrastination, I would say, is a big one for most people. We all think, I want to be a great author, but it's difficult to make yourself do it day after day after day after day. Even if you're just completing a small goal for yourself, like a short story or like a script, you have to have a process. You have to stay on it every day, just like anything else. I think a lot of people are intimidated by the aspect of writing, as in they don't think they're good enough. But it's not about how good you are. It's about putting pen to paper and putting it out, getting it out there. I think diligence is a huge one for me, has always been, and my writing has helped me with that in my personal life. Tenacity, obviously, creative process, organization, and just do it. If you want to do something, do it. Hold yourself accountable. If you've told your friends you're going to write something, write. If you say anything, you do it.
What have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about yourself in the process?
Writing can be so tumultuous because an artist is never satisfied. And when you create something and you put it out there for the world to see, even if you hand it off to your friend for a peer review, you are then vulnerable, just like any other form of art. You're vulnerable to skepticism, to critique, to things you don't want to hear, to the truth you might not want to know about, how someone else views me. It has helped me become a more confident person in being able to say, I stand by this. This is my product. I created. I believe in it no matter what you say. There could be 1,000 people who like it and 1,000 people who don't. And that's not my concern. My concern is that I'm proud of my finished product, and I did what I set out to do. I've completed the creative process. You know, I think of writing as a recipe, and all these little parts come out into it. Your creative flow, your tenacity, your diligence, your intelligence, your capacity for work, everything into this final dish that could be something really remarkable and beautiful. I've learned about myself that I'm insecure because I'll write something and think that's not good enough. When if it came from the heart, it's always good enough. It's perfect if it came from the heart. I've learned how to challenge my competitive nature and write for myself, not write for someone else, not write against whatever competition I'm working towards, knowing that if I'm producing something in my life, that's just as healthy as having something published. I think one of the huge challenges is a lot of people grow up and think, I want to be a writer, and not realizing that there's not an actual career as a writer. If you're not planning on becoming a novelist, becoming a journalist, becoming, you know, whatever kind of writer you want to be, you have to really narrow it down. And it is my passion, but I have to put food on the table as well. So I have a day job that I love so much. I'm so grateful to have. And when I come home, I get to write.
Well, and that's the thing, you know, we interview people, and we've been interviewing people all over the country about all different types of passions. And the thing is that it's not something you have to do full time.
Yes.
It can be something that you do part time. It can be something that you are just getting your feet wet in to develop further. But I love what you're saying about basically don't take it so seriously.
Right.
You know, just do it authentically. Do you have a favorite piece that you've worked on?
Yes. Do you? I could read it for you.
Yeah, I would love it.
Okay, I'll have to go get it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This poem is called Exotic Youth of a Perennial Eye. Like a perennial gladly soaking up the juice of the sun, or star-crossed lovers extending emotion, I swim in the exotic changing notion of youth. Martyrs serve their men, farmers feed their hen, families love their kin, boozers drink their gin, writers leak their pens, and then the cycle erupts again. Workers quit their jobs, children become slobs, fertile soil disappears from crops, the writers get writer's block, no bottle of spirits left, not a drop.
And I know that's an excerpt from that whole piece, right? Which is, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, how did it make you feel to finish a piece that you're proud of? You know, because so many writers are full of such doubt.
It's like a full-fledged, full-body happiness. It's like a lightning bolt is exploding in front of my very eyes. To finish a piece that I've been working on that I'm proud of is probably one of the greatest joys I could achieve in life, having not experienced motherhood yet. I think it's a gift from God that I'm able to create something that means something to me that can touch someone else. And whether or not that audience is there, it is so enriched my life that I can't ignore it. My emotions, what I experience, it's like a little thing that lives inside me. And if I don't let it out, it's trapped and it's gonna die. And I have to give it life. I have to let it be free. Pen to paper, pen to paper, pen to paper.
So what closing advice would you give my audience on incorporating a passion, whether it's writing or something else that they are passionate about?
Have the courage to create. What people think of you and what people say about you is none of your business. They're going to talk about you anyway. Just do it. If you want to do something, do it. Read books on what other people have done successfully. Follow your mentors. See what they've done and how they've achieved it. And if it's not something that brings you joy, move on. Let it go. Find another medium. you know, music, art, poetry, film. There's so many different aspects of each part. I mean, there's literally millions of things to be passionate about, you know. And I think that once you discover what it means to you, what you are really passionate about, you really find out who you are.
What's the best way to contact you?
You can contact me via email.
Which is what?
meredithj@theend.com. It's meredithj@theend.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I talk to you, 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 and we love, and we hate, and we demonstrate. We try to relate. This is my breakthrough. Whoa. Said now, this my breakthrough. Whoa. Oh man, this my breakthrough.